We are going to discuss in this video upgrading your decisions. Now, you might wonder what this means in the context of becoming more productive. You might even wonder, well, within the context, what does it mean or how does it fit in with winning the outer victory? Now, upgrading your decisions means that you immediately stop making decisions between good and bad choices. In other words, if something is a bad choice, if something leads to a bad outcome, well, you want to leave that out of your decision making altogether. You want to start bringing your decision making up to good, better, and best. So, in other words, you want to make sure that you are leaving out anything that could cause an undesirable outcome, and anything that leads to consequences that will not lead you closer to your goal. Anything that leads to a bad outcome should no longer be a factor. In terms of upgrading your decision making, you want to start looking at everything that you have to do, whether or not it's a purchase that you have to make, whether or not it is a JV partner that you are considering working with, or whether or not it means that you are deciding on a launch date. You might need to start thinking about the consequences, and you're going to need to start thinking about if something is undesirable and then leaving that out of your decision making process altogether, never to be revisited. Now, here is the key to upgrading your decisions. This may require that patience is exercised before action is taken. Most of the decision making that comes to us typically comes with a degree of needing to be made now, in the moment. And sometimes, in order to get to an upgraded decision, and sometimes in order to have a good, better, and best scenario in which to decide from, you may need to exercise patience in terms of moving forward in whatever your action is. Now, what does upgrading your decisions really mean? You need to start thinking about whether or not a decision needs to be made across multiple factors. In other words, don't just think of one aspect. For example, don't just think of a particular product that you're going to promote. Maybe you have a list or you're thinking about promoting a particular product. And if all that you think about is the potential income, that may not necessarily be the entirety of your decision. Maybe perhaps you should think about whether or not this will extend your relationship with your JV partner. Maybe you should think about whether or not this will turn off a number of people on your subscriber list. Maybe you should think about some of the aspects of whether or not your subscribers are going to purchase something that won't work or will work. You need to consider every decision across multiple factors and not just one. This will help you to make better decisions and will help you to upgrade your decisions between good, better, and best. You need to understand and use the Pareto principle. In some cases, some of the decisions that you make will take care of 80% of the situations or problems that you are dealing with. So in other words, if a decision you're making deals with most or multiple factors, that can tend to be the right decision. And so you want to think about 20% of your decisions leading to 80% of the problems being rectified that you have in your business or even in your life. So you want to use a Pareto principle and decide for those things that have maximum impact. So if something will affect your business across many factors and you can make that decision, well, in many cases, that's going to be the right decision for you to make. Of course, you are going to want to consider future consequences, and we talked about that in a prior step. One of the things that every piece of decision making that you are going to have to do really comes down to whether or not something will affect you or your business in the future. What position will this put you in? Will this put you closer to your goal? Will this put you closer to what it is that your vision is for your business? Will this put you closer to what you need to accomplish in order to get to your larger vision. Now, in conclusion, upgrading your decision means that you want to start by eliminating those things that are going to be bad decisions, eliminating them from the process. So, not even starting your decision making process with anything that's going to lead to a less than desirable outcome. So, you want to stop deciding between good and bad choices. Secondly, bring your decisions up between good, better, and best. So, you want to have choices that lead to good outcomes, better outcomes, or the best possible outcome. Okay, and you may need to wait before you can take action in order to have a decision that you need to make that leads to good, better, and best outcomes. That may mean that you cannot make the decision right now. You're going to have to compare across multiple factors, of course. One factor is not enough, typically not enough, in order to make a good decision. Consider what you have to do across multiple factors. Use the Pareto principle and look for decisions and look for choices that you can make that are going to have maximum impact across multiple areas of your life and your business. And of course, consider any future consequences that are going to come with what it is you decide. Now, what is your take action step? Go through the decisions that you have to make today with respect to your business or your work. And what you want to do is start thinking about whether or not you have unconsciously allowed in a number of choices that will just lead to bad outcomes altogether. Perhaps it means that you need to look for other choices and just to eliminate those that could lead to potentially bad outcomes in your business. So start with this step. Make your next decision according to these principles. In particular, look to the Pareto principle. Look to try to make decisions that are going to have maximum impact on your business and will give you the maximum amount of leverage in the things that you have to do. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video.